RTL Football Podcast, now live on Twitch and on YouTube at 8 p.m. UK time on Thursdays.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Moving on to some comments made by Jose Mourinho this week. And I normally find some of Jose Mourinho's comments quite frustrating, but these comments I 100% agree with. He is saying he was questioned on Barcelona and Juventus being on the Champions League. Obviously, they finished third in their group, so they are knocked into the Europa League, which has been a rule forever. Well, how the Champions League and Europa League have been a thing. And I've always agreed with that. Like, if United have finished third in a Champions League group, I've never agreed that we should have a second chance and go into the Europa League. And that's what basically what Jose is saying. What is your thoughts on that, Normie?
I mean, all right. So there's I have two different opinions on this. Okay, one is they shouldn't, because I would prefer that Barcelona is just knocked out of European competitions and not have a chance to go down and then win the Europa League and get money to save them from them literally destroying themselves. So there's that. I don't think that they should be given a second chance, but looking at it from a business perspective, which is why this is a thing, would you rather watch Apoel and Arsenal or Barcelona and Arsenal? That's how they're looking at it. Because yes, that is also along the lines of the Super League, which I do not support whatsoever.
That's back today as well.
But in a way, the Champions League, Europa Conference League, to an extent, those are your super leagues. So I mean, you definitely still get those big time matchups by those teams falling down into the Europa League. Is it fair? No. Does it make for amazing competition? Yes. But like you can basically figure out what certain teams are kind of going for, especially depending on their groups. Like say Sevilla was in that group instead of Barcelona. Sevilla is aiming for third so that they can go down and win another Europa League. It's just that it's smart to do that sometimes. It's annoying that clubs do that, but they have the ability to do it because of how it's set up. So would I rather them be knocked out entirely? Yes. From the business perspective, though, I would much rather watch Arsenal play Barcelona or Juve than play a team from Cyprus. So
definitely. I can see both sides of that argument. I've just never agreed with people. Teams getting a second chance. I think, especially if you're a smaller team, like obviously that year when Fulham got to the final, that would have never happened if you had, say, Bayern Munich or Barcelona dropping down into the last 16. So
it would definitely be harder. But for those smaller teams, say it is Fulham, Barcelona coming to town, you're selling out, and that's big time money for the club. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to look at it from a business perspective with this. Yes, more eyes are going to be drawn to Arsenal versus Barcelona, but say it is a Barcelona like versus Fulham, the money that would come in to Fulham would be amazing for a club like that. For smaller clubs to make, like Man City going to Copenhagen. Copenhagen's not going to make it out of that group, but just Man City going to Copenhagen in Denmark, that's the whole city's going to want to be there. So it definitely helps. There's definitely a trickle down effect, money wise, which is probably another one of the reasons why they do this. So that is a possibility, but also the possibility of a Barcelona Arsenal type first round in the Europa League, or if there is a Barcelona Fulham type thing still that helps out that smaller club.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about that one, Boom?
It's interesting. Like, one thing, I do think some clubs deserve to go down the Europa League because it gives them more money and stuff. Like, you think, like, if Copenhagen still have a chance to finish third, just the goal difference separates them at fourth at the moment. They would benefit by staying in Europe. Smaller teams, like, if they do eventually get in there, say if it has happened before, an Irish team gets into those group stage, they would like to stay in. They would be eating your hand off for a third place finish to stay in another competition.
Yeah, definitely.
They definitely would. The only way that I think you could not have that as a possibility is you change the prize money.
Yeah.
That's the only way that teams will be okay with that not happening. Because, like Boom said, say a team from the Republic of Ireland were to finish third, say it's like Bohemians. Those teams already don't make a whole hell of a lot of money. So to be able to get their money for the group stage, having taken part in the Champions League, but then they also get to take part in the Europa League, that's even more money. So for those smaller clubs, that backs up my point, like with a Barcelona Fulham type thing, those smaller clubs definitely would enjoy that happening. And for a club like Copenhagen, they're the biggest club besides Midtjylland and Nordsjælland and in Denmark, but that money will definitely go a long way in helping them build up their team to where they could maybe compete and have a miracle season one season like Ajax did. So it's if teams do it the smart way, you'll see a lot more cool stories like Maccabi Haifa beating Juve. That was awesome. So, and I mean with Club Brugge, the way that they're playing, that is amazing. So you definitely get those stories. So you can still get those surprises. It's just
you can link
I
it.
think people get annoyed because the big clubs get those second opportunities, not just those smaller clubs.
You can also link it with another debate that's happened, come back today. Obviously, I'm not sure if you've seen the news that the Super League have
They want to start in 2 years' time.
They've got plans for 2 years' time, and they've got a new CEO running it. And he said that he wants it planned for 2024. So, what's your thoughts on this? I can't go away now.
I don't think the Super League should ever be a thing because they already have it. It's called the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League.
And plus, the Champions League is basically becoming the Super League. If you think about it,
that's what it is. Yeah, like because how they're going to have it, there's no point to start another thing. That's just that's more money for the owners and people who are greedy.
And even if they want to,
which is essentially what the Super League is. It's about greed, money, and power, and that's what they want. They don't want to have to answer to UEFA for anything. So they'll probably end up taking whatever punishment comes. And if they have to leave and play in that Super League, they will. And what sucks is that you've got the guy at Real Madrid. It would save Barcelona. It would save Juve because they're having financial stuff as well. But you have these American owners like the Glazers and like Stan Kroenke, who I absolutely despise and cannot stand, that are 110% for this.
And the Liverpool
because they know that if they market it right, it will work. If they have the right teams, it will work. It's just it sucks that it could happen.
I think with the Prem at the moment, like the way the backlash lasted, I think it's going to be very difficult to get the Prem teams back into a project like that because of how much backlash they suffered during the last Super League.
Yeah.
It'd be a hard sell for a lot of those teams.
But you can, with what Todd Bailey's been saying with Chelsea, you can guarantee Chelsea would be in that.
No,
Guarantee Chelsea would be in that. Arsenal would be in that. Man United would be in that.
It
I
depends if the
think
Glazers are under a lot of flack at the moment, but I don't.
Liverpool, I don't think go. Man City, I don't think go.
I actually don't think United go at this particular moment in time with the amount of pressure on the Glazers already. They wouldn't want to bite a silver bullet to kill themselves.
But I can.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would.
I'd counter argue that there's no reason with the pressure they've got on them right now, with potential buyers there, and them still refusing to sell, even that they need to do the stadium, and they've openly said they need to do the stadium and haven't got the money for it. The only reason they're staying there because they know the Super League is still a possibility, and they're going to get a massive check if that goes through.
Yeah, it's exactly why. So, and I mean, what sucks is that the American owners that are over there are all of teams that no one likes over here. Because Bailey owns the Dodgers. No one likes the Dodgers except Dodgers fans. Kroenke owns the Rams. No one likes the Rams except Rams fans. Especially in my city, no one likes the Rams, and they're brainwashed if they do. No one really likes Tampa Bay because they kind of bought themselves a Super Bowl by bringing in Tom Brady and everybody. So, I mean, you have these owners that are now basically hated nationwide, worldwide almost. Yeah. So, I mean, will it get the eyes? Obviously, yeah. Because that backs up what I was saying about Barcelona Arsenal. Like, people would much rather watch that than a Arsenal versus a team from Cyprus. But why create another league that is literally going to have so many repercussions put on you when you're already in what is basically a Super League? Yeah. Because the Champions League used to be only champions. You win your league, you're in. You don't, you're not. But now they changed it, so it's a trickle effect all the way down.
They're gonna have like a repercussion because like the Premier clubs did sign an agreement from the Premier League that they would not break away ever again.
Yeah,
they've all signed. The top 6 clubs have all signed that.
I can guarantee you. I can.
Yeah, I know. I can guarantee people won't follow that, but they signed that, so there will be repercussions league-wise if they do this again.
It's basically
they will get they signed up to agree that they will get deducted a lot of points, which will effectively relegate them all if they sign breakaway.
Yeah, but they won't care.
I know they won't. I won't. I know they won't care. I'm saying that's what will happen. No, fans will care about that.
Yeah, the fans will, but they don't care about the fans. They care about the Kwan and how much money they're going to be able to make.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Say the Super League happens tomorrow, and it's all official, and say 10,000 United fans said that I'm never going to Old Trafford again. I'm not supporting United again. They've already replaced that 10,000 United fans.
Exactly, with tourists.
Yeah.
So that they literally do not care. Like for clubs that are more family and town community oriented and based, if those teams were to join a Super League, then yes, it would hurt. But I mean, with a team like John just said, with Man United, 10,000 fans say I'm never going to the game again, they got those 10,000 replaced next week. So it's, I mean, yes, it won't be season ticket holders, but they will find 10,000 people to fill those seats.
Oh, easy.
And it won't be everyone in a Man U shirt. It'll be like when the NFL comes to London and you got people representing every single type of team.
Yeah.
That there won't be loyalty anymore, which already isn't with players. I mean, look at Mbappe.
Speaking of like these like tournaments and stuff, did you see that like story that they're planning to do this big preseason tournament
in the US?
Like most of the Premier League teams.
Yep. I don't know what they're gonna do or why, but
yep. Anyway, that was a good debate. I thought that would cause some good debate on that subject.